Hey guys, this is Tom, and here we are for another M12 64-man draft. Card should be coming out in just a sec. Here we are with our first pick. Looking at the cards that stand out to me are Shock, Jade Mage, Spirit Mantle. Goblin Chieftain can be good if you take him early and pick up a fair number of goblins, but I think these are the strongest cards. I really like Jade Mage. I think he has a lot of power, but I'm tempted to take Shock here. It's just such a powerful, versatile card. And the difference of 1 mana and 2 mana in this format is pretty huge. It's much more aggressive than normal, and a lot of times you'll have that extra 1 mana, but 2 mana maybe not so much. At any rate, we're going to take Shock here. Okay, and we do get past a second Jade Mage, so other cards here we could pick up. Goblin Grenade, Veteran is fine, Griffin Sentinel is quite good. You've got the Jade Mage, the Arsonist, Llanowar Elves. There's a fair amount coming here. The cards I'm really looking at this point, I'm looking at either taking Sentinel or Jade Mage. I think these two cards are more powerful than like Arsonist, for instance. Well, Arsonist is very good, and Goblin Grenade is fine. I really think that I want to pick up... I think I'm going to take the Jade Mage here. I think red-green can be a good combo. I think the Jade Mage kind of edges out the other cards in the pack. I know I did pass a Jade Mage from the first pack, but I still think that it's probably going to be the pick for us. Okay, here we have Giant Spider, which is excellent in green. We have Adaptive Automaton. Now, this guy can be a pretty nasty combo with Jade Mage, for instance. If we name Saproling, basically just create an army of 2/2s. So I think here, I don't know how good he is. Outside of that, I think it's a fine card. Giant Spider is always good, and I think that if we pick up more Jade Mages, the Automaton becomes much better. But I don't want to pass the green signal here, so I'm actually just going to take the Spider. Spider's always good, and here we're seeing Plummet, Active Treason. These are the two best cards here. I've been more and more impressed with cards like Divine Favor. Really go a long way, especially if you can pick up Oromancers, but here we're going to take Plummet. In a set with so many good flyers, I think Plummet is a very good main deck answer. Here we're got to pick between Divination, Chasm Drake, Trollhide. So these cards are all good. I think that Chasm Drake is a very good card in like the blue-green setup. Trollhide is also very good. I could try to hedge here and pick up the Drake just to see if blue continues to pass, but I mean, because if you have Chasm Drake in a blue-green deck, flying over big guys is really big game. Not a lot of red is coming here. I think I'm just going to pick up the Drake. I think it might potentially turn out into a better deck if the red just stops coming. Here we've got Vastwood Gorger, which is certainly fine, or Unsummon, which I think is actually a little better. We could take the Gorger here just in case red opens up again. And Gorger is still good with like a Chasm Drake, but it is a fairly late card. But I think I'm just going to actually pick up the body here. Okay, now we've got Trollhide or another Gorger. Here I'm happy to grab the Trollhide. And the best card here, I mean, we have Lava Axe, which is quite good if we were going to go like red-green. But I actually really like Redirect. I've gotten a chance to play with it, and I think it can be a very powerful trick. So I'm actually going to take the Redirect here. And now we've got a choice of Manalith, potentially, Rampant Growth, which I like, or Mana Leak. I think that Mana Leak and Rampant Growth are pretty similar in terms of power level. I am going to go ahead and take the Growth here, just because I think with green, being able to accelerate into later cards is going to be maybe a little bit stronger. And here we can pick up like a Phantasmal Bear. If we do end up going blue-green, it's going to definitely be quite good. We could just hedge and take the Runeclaw Bear, which is also quite fine. But I think at this point, if we open like a red bomb, we could still go back into red. I'm just going to take the bear here, the Runeclaw Bear. Keep ourselves open. Here we'll just take the Fire Breathing. It's a potential way to take out illusion creatures. Lava Axe is just fine. So we're not really sure if we're going to be green-red or green-blue at this point. And hopefully we'll get a pretty good rare in one of these three colors so that we can really sort of decide which way we want to go. Okay, so we have in this pack a Garruk's Companion, we have a Gravedigger, and we have a Shock. And I'm happy to see the Shock because I think that now the red is definitely going to be stronger. Shock, I believe, is the clear pick here. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Shock and see if we can shift into like a green-red shell. Incinerate is easily the best card in this pack. Fire Slinger is also quite good, so is Crocodile, but not going to take either one over Incinerate. So we're just going to go ahead and hide the blue. Definitely not main decking Fire Breathing. So I'm pretty happy with how this deck is coming together. We definitely need to draft some more creatures here, as we're still pretty creature light. But I think that green is a good color that allows you the ability to pick up some more creatures. So we have a lot of nice removal between the Plummet, the Incinerate, the two Shocks. Very cheap, efficient, and versatile removal. Okay, so here we've got another Plummet. We have like an Act of Treason, a Lava Axe. Now, Warstorm Surge is a card that I have never played, but I've played against, and I can tell you that it can really be a total beating, especially like with larger creatures in green. I wanted to get a chance to play with it, and I think this might be a good time to try it. If you can get it active and you can start dropping creatures, you can just end the game very quickly. Here we've got a Crumbling Colossus, but I think the pick here is going to be the Piker. Tunneler is usually much worse in the green-red archetype just because, more creatures are going to have a higher power. And Piker is exactly what we want to be doing, so we'll grab that. We could grab like another Lava Axe here, which would be fine. Bang Chuckers are okay. If you pick up like a Goblin Chieftain, they become obviously much better. Not too excited about Lightning Elemental. The Manalith is fine. That can allow us to sort of power into some of our later drops. And I think we don't want to have too many Lava Axes because we're going to have some later creatures. I think I'm actually going to... I think I'm just going to grab the Manalith here. Just kind of smooth out the land a little bit more. Be able to power into some of those later drops. Okay, so here we've got some nice blue cards. Unfortunately, we are pretty solidly in red-green at this point. So we're just going to grab the Warpaint, which is still fine. And hope to grab some more creatures, just like Piker. That's exactly what we want. We're going to go ahead and snap up this Purge, just to D that up. I'm happy running one Elemental. It's a fine card. It's nothing to be super excited about, but it's fine. Here we're going to go ahead and cut the Smallpox. And we can grab another late Lava Axe. I think that I sort of misjudged the power level of a Lava Axe at the beginning, and I maybe valued it a bit more than I really should have. I've seen it go later and later, and like it's definitely a fine card in the right deck, but at the same time, they do go kind of late, and it's, I can see why. So at this point, we've got 18 playables going into Pack 3. We still got just a few more picks here in Pack 2. What I'd really like to do is kind of get some creatures maybe in the middle of our curve. Like we don't have a lot of 3 or 4 drops. I'd like to be able to take out this Lightning Elemental if possible and replace it with something a little bit better. Our early game is looking pretty good. I mean, we have the Jade Mage, the 2 Pikers, the Runeclaw Bears, so we've got some nice stuff on the early side, but maybe just kind of fill out some of our mid to late game. We already have a number of removal spells. I think here I'm really going to try to focus on premium creatures because we are only at 7 creatures at this point, and we need to really up that number considerably. And Flame Blast Dragon is exactly what we're doing. So, I mean, there's great other cards here, like Stingerfling Spider is amazing, Incinerate's great, but neither one is even close to Flame Blast Dragon. This one is definitely just a game ender. Hopefully we can pick up enough creatures, because the more creatures we grab, the better Warstorm Surge will become. Really sad to pass a Serra Angel here, but I mean, we can't take a Stampeding Rhino over a Shock. That just seems wrong. So, taking a 3rd Shock is always fine. You can think of it as a creature because it basically will kill one every time. That pack was insane. We had Serra Angel, Aether Adept, Doomblade, I think was there. So just a very powerful pack. Okay, so here we are happy to pick up one of the later sort of slower cards. And actually, while I like Stampeding Rhino, we don't have that much Bloodthirst at this point, and I think that Greater Basilisk, I think overall is a stronger card. It's much harder to deal with, and it still does a reasonable amount of damage. Second Jade Mage is exactly what we want to be doing. And some other nice cards here like Pacifism, the Drake, Unsummon, Gideon's Avenger I've seen be a total beating. But Jade Mage is the card for us. Here we could pick up, well, I mean, the clear pick here is the Minotaurs. I mean, if they get active as a 5/5, they are so hard to deal with. Like, there could be an argument made for Crocodile, but, I mean, Gorehorn Minotaurs are just better. And hopefully, we've got, basically no chance of getting these cards back that are good, but unfortunately, yeah, it's definitely Minotaurs here. Happy to pick up another Giant Spider. This deck is really coming together. Here we have enough early game. I'm not worried about Walled Torches. Don't really want a 3rd Lava Axe. I mean, it's fine, I suppose, but we could look at maybe picking up like an Autumn's Veil just for the, just for sideboard options. Here we could grab another Manalith. Not terribly excited about a second Manalith since we already have a Rampant Growth and another Manalith. But I mean, at the same time, I suppose Naturalize is a fine sideboard card. Let's see, we've only got 12 creatures. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Naturalize here. And here we're happy to pick up, I mean, Swiftfoot Boots is actually very good in this setup, just to give haste to some of our, later creatures, but we need to have enough creatures first, so we're going to grab the 4/4. Definitely going to go ahead and cut a Griffin here. Amulet is an interesting card. I mean, like with Amulet, we can just put Flame Blast Dragon into play on turn 5 as a fast effect, which is gotta be hilarious. However, I think that, I'm really not sure here. I think Active Treason might be better. I'm gonna grab the Amulet and sort of go on a, just try it out. Like some of these cards, I think that they might be a little bit worse, but I haven't had a chance to play with them yet, so I think that, it could be interesting to give them a try. It may not make the deck.